Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me once again. Hope you're all doing well. Um, those dreaded words, a test series in Australia. We're about to embark on that. Words that send a shiver down the spine, no doubt, of many Pakistani cricketing lovers and followers. I remember many occasions waking up during the middle of the night, looking at the scorecard and realizing just how badly Pakistan were doing, turning the TV off and going back to bed. Yes, Pakistan versus Australia. In Australia, Test series, not for the faint-hearted. Looking at Pakistan's record, yeah, not good, is it? Last 14 tests, lost 14, won none, drawn none. Not good, is it? 1995, Sydney was the last time Pakistan beat Australia in a test match in Australia. Memories of that test match? Probably most of you, many of you weren't even born back then. What's that, 28 years ago? Yeah, 28 years ago. Ijaz Ahmed with a fantastic century, took the Australian bowlers on, batted beautifully, probably one of his best innings ever. I remember Mushtaq Ahmed bowling brilliantly in that match. Saqlain Mushtaq supporting him really well. Wasim, 4 wickets in the first innings. Waqar was excellent as well. I mean, that bowling attack alone, just absolutely world class. You know, Wasim, Waqar, Saqlain, and Mushtaq Ahmed. And in the team, you also had the likes of Inzamam, Ijaz Ahmed, etc., etc. So some high class, quality, experienced international players who took Australia on and beat them. As I say, Sydney, 28 years ago. We've not got Wasim Akrams now. We've not got Mushtaq Ahmeds. We've not got Ijaz Ahmeds. We've not got Inzamam ul Haqs, have we? But you just never know. So this is a new era. Shan Masood is the Test captain after Babar Azam resigned or was pushed to give up the captaincy. I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. Yeah, so Shan's talking a good game. He's speaking about positivity. He's speaking about how he wants Pakistan to play aggressively. He wants them to play a different brand of cricket. He's backing his words up with a double century in the warm-up match against the Prime Minister's 11. So good start for Shan Masood as captain. He's articulate. He's experienced. He's led in county cricket. He's led teams in domestic cricket, in the Pakistan Super League as well. So he's got an abundance of experience in terms of captaincy and playing cricket as well at all levels. So probably the right man to take over from Babar Azam. The key for Pakistan in Australia really is, as Mickey Arthur said recently, the top four. So you're looking at Imam ul Haq, Abdullah Shafiq, Babar Azam, Shan Masood. That is the top four that needs to make big runs. When I mean big runs, I don't mean 30s, 40s, 50s. That doesn't hurt a team like Australia. Doesn't hurt most teams in Test cricket. You want hundreds. You want what's known as daddy hundreds, big hundreds, 150 plus, close to 200, where you can have one or two batters at least getting those big partnerships going, and then they're supported by the middle order, the lower order, and the tail enders. So runs on the board is absolutely crucial for Pakistan. And that's not easy against this opposition. They're at home in their own conditions. It's the world's best team at the moment. Many of these players have just recently won a World Cup in India in front of 120,000 screaming, chanting, ecstatic Indian fans. So pressure for these Australian guys doesn't really come into it. I think the only way Pakistan can put Australia under pressure is by beating them at their own game, and that is an aggressive form of cricket, putting runs on the board, as I say, and then 20 wickets. I make it sound so easy, don't I? 20 wickets. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, really, should it? But in theory, when you look at Pakistan's bowling attack, I'm worried. I'm actually more worried about the bowling than the batting this time around. I think in the past series, Pakistan have gone to Australia, and the concern has always been the batting. You worry about the top order. Where are the runs going to come from? Who's going to make those hundreds? This time around, the bowling, Shaheen Shah Afridi is obviously the linchpin. He's the main man when it comes to taking wickets in Australia. If he has a good series, Pakistan will be competitive. If he has a poor series, Pakistan are going to get smashed. So, who's he going to be supported by? Me personally, for the first test match, I would go with the experienced options. I'd go with Hassan Ali. Yeah, Hassan's form hasn't been great. People say he's not the same bowler that he once was. He's got a lot of experience under his belt, and it's an ideal time for him to bowl in those conditions, in conditions that could suit his style of bowling if he gets his length right, if he's confident, and if he starts to reverse the ball. My third option with the ball, as far as the paces are concerned, alas, there's no Naseem Shah. If only he'd been out there, it could have been a different outcome. One never knows. I'd go with Mir Hamza. Now, Mir hasn't got a lot of test experience. He's not got a lot of international cricket under his belt. What he has got is spirit, effort. He'll give 100% out there, and he's got a lot of experience in domestic cricket. Now, experience in domestic cricket doesn't necessarily mean success in international cricket, but if I was picking the team, I would definitely go with those three paces. Pick an all-rounder, Amr Jamal, Fahim Ashraf in the first test match? I wouldn't. I'd go with the four bowlers. My fourth option would be Babar Azam if he's fit. BCB are being a little bit quiet about whether he's fit or not. Probably don't want to disclose give too many clues ahead of the first test match. The likelihood is he's probably going to be unfit. So that would mean Noman Ali, steady spinner, not spectacular. I think the Aussies will try and target him. So I would go with the four bowling options. Now, the top six for Pakistan when it comes to batting, in my opinion, is fairly settled. You've got Abdullah Shafiq, who will be tested by these Australian bowlers. Abdullah's got that knack of playing across his front pad, especially early in his innings. I think the Aussies will target that. So he's going to have to be at his best. He's a talented batsman. Greg Chappell has just spoken very highly of him. Once he gets in, he's very fluent. He's great on the eye, fantastic to watch. Imam ul Haq will be the other opener probably in the first test match. They're going to bounce him, aren't they? They're going to test him with a lot of chin music. Imam struggles against the short ball. I don't think that's any surprise. I don't think that's a big secret, really, is it? He's somebody who's going to be thoroughly tested with the short stuff. It's going to be an interesting series for him. I hope he comes through and gets big runs because the opening partnerships are vital against Australia. Shah Masood says he wants to bat at 3. Fair enough. Babar Azam will be at 4. The likelihood is it'll be Saud Shakil at 5. Now, I would go with Mohammad Rizwan at 6, Sarfraz Ahmed at 7. Yeah, you're playing 2 wicket keepers, Sarfraz Ahmed behind the stumps, and I would have Mohammad Rizwan in the field. Yeah, you can say it's a defensive move by playing 6 batters and then a wicket keeper and only playing 4 bowlers. It's a risky move, especially if one of the bowlers gets injured. But I think for that first test match, if Pakistan can come out of that test match with a draw, as I say, by getting those runs on the board, by having the 6 batters, Rizwan's record against Australia in Australia is fantastic. He's very good. And, he's a decent back foot player. So he could be one of those batters who comes in at number 6 and can frustrate the Australian bowlers and accumulate some runs for himself and bat well with the lower order as well. So I would go with that top 6 with Rizwan at 6. I'd go with Sarfraz Ahmed at 7, and then you've got the 4 bowling options. As I say, Pakistan have taken 2 bowling all-rounders, Fahim Ashraf and Amr Jamal. I think if we're going to go with 5 bowlers, that's probably going to be later in the series, if and when Pakistan are desperate to win a test match to get back into the series. As I say, I would go with that slightly defensive, slightly cautious option of the 6 batters, the wicketkeeper, and the 4 bowlers. Fingers crossed Babar Ahmed is fit because he would be my first choice spinner. Noman, as I say, is steady, but if you want to take 20 wickets, and leg spinners generally do well in Australian conditions, I think Abrar could cause the Australian batters some problems, only if he is fit. But as I say, PCB are not revealing whether he's actually fit enough to play in this first Test match or not. The Aussies are formidable, aren't they? I mean, just look at their record. As I say, they've just come back off the World Cup victory, and most of the Test squad were part of that fantastic victory out there in India. There's just no weaknesses. You look at the top order, you've got the Steve Smith, Marnus Labuschagne. You look at lower down, even those guys, Cummins, Stark, etc., can score runs. The bowling unit is fantastic. The spin options are great as well. And Pakistan are going to be in for a rough ride. I think there's going to be some big questions asked of this Pakistan team. But I'm hopeful that these guys go with that attitude of, we've got nothing to lose. I recently interviewed Adam Hollyoak. I hope you watched that interview. And it was very interesting listening to what he had to say. He said nobody expects Pakistan to do well. Nobody expects Pakistan to win matches out there in Australia, given their track record. And as I said before, last 14 tests, Pakistan have lost out in Australia. So nobody's giving Pakistan a chance. They're massive underdogs. Go out there with a positive attitude. Go out there thinking, look, guys, we've got nothing to lose. Let's get stuck into them. Let's be aggressive. And you just never know. Obviously, they're going to have to play some fantastic cricket. Most of the players are going to have to be at their best to come out of this series unscathed. And I think ultimately, if Pakistan can even win one Test match out there, that would be an achievement, and would surely ease some of that 28 years of pain of seeing Pakistan struggle in Australia match after match. But as I say, it's going to have to take a lot of guts, determination, some fantastic cricket. It's going to take the likes of Babar Azam to lift that team, Shan Masood, Mohammad Rizwan, Sarfraz Ahmed, Shaheen Shah Afridi. They're the experienced guys. They're the guys who are going to have to take this team by the scruff of its neck, lift them, perform, and play at 100% of their ability. Babar Azam, will be interesting to see him, how he bats without the captaincy, without the pressure of the captaincy. I'm expecting a big series of Babar. I think he only averages 27 in tests in Australia, but I'm pretty certain that he will have a big series. And as I say, those guys, Rizwan, Shaheen, Shan Masood, those are the guys that Pakistan expect big things from. So here's hoping to an enjoyable series, and who knows, Pakistan might even win a Test match. Thanks very much for watching. Watch out for the next video coming up. Take care.